No need to take any ridiculous damage here. Although it says that while taking half of his HP bar of damage. Okay. Hello there viewers, this is Guffball with the Cave and we're going to attempt to do a Dark Souls no level up run. I was going to do this with Elden Ring, but I thought that would probably be a little bit too hard. So we're going to do it with Dark Souls. I'm probably going to fast forward through the character creator here. So we'll slow down here just to discuss. I actually haven't put any thought into this. I don't know what I'm exactly going to end up like, but we should really talk about what stats we're going to have, because these are going to be the stats that we're going to be stuck with for the whole game. And I'm kind of feeling that the knight may be good just for that even spread, because I do expect that the sword and shield playstyle is going to be the main thing throughout this whole playthrough. So let's go with the knight. And let's go with the master key, just for flexibility in navigating the world. That'll become clear in a little bit. Okay, that's going to do it for Mr. Cave there. Didn't do too much, but we're a knight because I'm going to go with the sword and shield playstyle throughout the whole game. So this no level up run, I think, is going to be based mainly on my ability to not get hit by things, rather than actual tanking of damage, but with the extra thing of being able to level up your weapons into normal levels of strength. It's just that I'm not going to have any extra vitality to tank hits. So with that in mind, then maybe it isn't a good idea to go knight, because they might end up having the medium role or the fat role. I can't remember exactly what. Is it maybe worth going the warrior instead? Can't remember. Why don't we go knight for now? Master key allows you to open different doors to kind of break the sequence of the game, so that you can get to later stages a little bit quicker. It just means that we're not going to be completely stuck going through the tough areas of the game. And we're going to watch the opening cutscene because I intend to engage a fair bit with the story as well, because the story is pretty good in this. So here we go.
In the age of ancients, the world was unformed, shrouded by fog. A land of grey crags, arch trees, and everlasting dragons. But then there was fire, and with fire came disparity. Heat and cold, life and death, and of course, light and dark. Then from the dark they came and found the souls of lords within the flame. Nito, the first of the dead. The Witch of Izalith and her daughters of Chaos. Gwyn, the Lord of Sunlight, and his faithful knights. And the furtive pygmy, so easily forgotten. With the strength of lords, they challenged the dragons. Gwyn's mighty lords peeled apart their stone skins. The witches weaved great firestorms. Nito unleashed a miasma of death and disease, and seethed the scales betrayed Thus began the Age of Fire. But soon the flames will fade, and only dark will remain. Even now, there are only embers, and man sees not light, but only endless nights. And amongst the living are seen carriers of the accursed dark side. Yes, indeed. The dark side brands the undead. And in this land, the undead are corralled and led to the north. Where they are locked away to await the end of the world. This is your fate.
Northern Undead Asylum. And we've got the dungeon cell key right here. So from a story point of view, the intro can seem quite vague. However, from the benefit of playing this game a few times, the intro cutscene actually does everything that you would want it to in painting the picture. So what's happened in this world is that it was a grey, cold, lifeless place that were inhabited by archtrees and everlasting dragons. And then humanoid creatures sprung up from the bills of the world and discovered the power of the soul. They took that soul and they became lords. So the people that you've seen there, Nito, the Witches of Izalith, and most importantly Gwyn, they are the people who took the souls and became powerful and took on the dragons, claimed the world for their own, made mighty kingdoms. But unfortunately those kingdoms fell to ruin, and they tried to prolong that lifestyle artificially, and this has resulted in the undead curse, which is what Mr. Pepperami Man has been afflicted with here. And what they have done is taken everyone who is afflicted with the undead curse and corralled them up here to the Northern Undead Asylum to await the ending of the world. Cool little thing here though. If you open this, you can actually see what we're about to face if you look up. This is widely known at this point, but just in case you didn't know, there he is. See him up there? Okay, so a little bit of foreshadowing of what's to come. Does look like we've got the fat roll on here, and once I escape from this guy, we are going to discuss the gameplay elements of this run here. Okay, so that fat roll is just ridiculous. So right out the gate, we can go into the menu, change equipment, and we'll just simply take off. That's still medium roll. Let's take off the helm as well. There we go, we've got fast roll. So rolling in this game is based on how much equipment you have on your person at any given time. So no leveling up, but I'm still going to level up weapons, and because I'm fairly familiar with this game, in fact I'm very familiar with this game, and I would probably say that I'm maybe slightly above average in aptitude for the game, I still expect that even with no leveling up, I'm still going to breeze through this area and potentially the undead burg coming up right up until maybe the bell gargoyles there. And then who knows if I'll even be capable of beating this game, but that's part of the fun to find out. Okay, let's go. So, first enemy here. And hold that to fully block. Easy peasy. So we had a mysterious benefactor who dropped a key into our cell, as you noticed in the opening cutscene. That man's name there is Oscar, and he has met with a terrible fate. And right out of the gate, we can display Dark Souls' penchant for environmental storytelling. The game, the story, it's all very vaguely delivered, but if you're perceptive and you want to engage with it, all the clues are there. So we go in. No, we don't. We go up here. Keep your wits about you, because as a ball rolls down, breaks that wall there. Again, something you might just run up here, but that actually broke down the wall, and we've got Oscar sitting here. And you can infer that he was thrown through that roof there by the very thing that we've just escaped from. Let's see what he's saying.
Oh, you. You're no hollow. Thank goodness. I'm done for, I'm afraid. I'll die soon, then lose my sanity. I wish to ask something of you. You and I are both undead. Hear me out, will you?
Of course.
Regrettably, I have failed in my mission. But perhaps you can keep the torch lit. There is an old saying in my family. Thou who art undead art chosen. And thine exodus from the undead asylum maketh pilgrimage to the land of ancient lords. When thou ringest the bell of awakening, the fate of the undead thou shalt know. Well, now you know. And I can die with hope in my heart. Oh, one more thing. Here, take this. An Estus flask. An undead favorite. Oh, and this. Now I must bid farewell. I would hate to harm you after death. So go now, and thank you.
Okay, so again, in Dark Souls doesn't really deliver any waypoints or any stories, so you must go in here to the menu. If you want to find out where that door opens, you must go to Keys, opens East Iron Bars of Undead Asylum F2, and then you can hit X to get even more context for the item there. The Undead Asylum is a giant undead prison, segmented by countless iron bars. Even if an undead were to escape from a cell, passage to the outside world would not be gained easily. This is the situation we find ourselves in. It's a bit of a prison break here. And we can go down here into a familiar area, which is a foreshadowing of the way Dark Souls likes to operate. It likes to stack its levels on top of each other, and we're back here. Luckily we haven't taken any health damage yet, but if we had, we could rest here and leave. Unfortunately, because we're not leveling up in this run, bonfires are only going to be for healing. So, after playing Elden Ring for a long time, and Elden Ring is a little bit faster. That was the door that key opened, by the way. Elden Ring is a little bit faster. I need to get a little bit more used to the slower cadence of Dark Souls again. Play a little bit more passively. No need to take any ridiculous damage here. Although it says that while taking half of his HP bar of damage. Okay, this guy. Parry, attack. Dead easy. Now, one thing that I do kind of miss from Elden Ring when you're using straight swords is if you were to press R2 or the right trigger, as I have it here on the Xbox, it would do a stabbing attack. Now, I forget how you do that in this. This is locked. You can't actually get in there until a little bit later in the game, so keep that in mind. Estus Flask heals you, you press X, you stop dead, it heals. It takes a bit of time, so in combat that's obviously a bit scary to use. Here we go, and we'll find ourselves above the baddie here, and you can drop down, hit an attack, and do a massive chunk of his damage. get a couple of hits in before his next attack. And you can block this guy's attacks, but you can actually dodge them fairly easy as well. In Dark Souls and these types of games, the iframes, they call them, they are invincibility frames. They're quite generous, so you can kind of get away with a whole bunch here. If you time it properly, you can get in close, and oftentimes close is exactly where you want to be when you're fighting a boss. So get in close, do one hit of damage, remain patient. No need for anything fancy. This guy doesn't really have any combos or anything. After he's done one attack, you can kind of bet that he's going to be done for a minute or two. There we go, this is an easy one to dodge into. Oh, he says that as he messes the dodge up. No need to get greedy with that final hit. And as you can see, when you block an attack with your shield, your stamina takes the damage instead of your health, which is quite good. So we need to make our peace with the fact that this is the amount of health that we're going to have for the rest of the game. Let's just check out that big pilgrim key. Why not? Big key belonging to a chosen undead pilgrim, but this chosen undead knows not what this pilgrimage has in store. And we didn't need to wait long before finding out what that key opened. Here we go. Okay, successful first boss. Give me just one little second to check my graphical config here. Display, frequency, quality, motion blur. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of things you can edit to do with the graphics. An old game after all, and actually I'm playing this on the Prepare to Die edition rather than the remastered edition, for some reason. It's the one that I had on Steam, so just make sure you check down there to get that soul. Soul of a Lost Undead gives you souls on demand that you won't lose when you die, so it's good to keep a few of them there. This is a thing. This here is a thing. We'll come back later. And is there one more item? I can't recall. Can't recall. Who cares? Let's go.
Only in the ancient legends it is stated that one day an undead shall be chosen. To leave the undead asylum in pilgrimage to the land of the ancient lords. Lordran.
So that was fairly easy, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. We're calm and chill right now, but in a no level up run it's going to get pretty scary pretty quickly, I'm sure. And here we are in the famous Firelink Shrine, the hub area connecting the entire world. Okay, so Firelink Shrine, here we go. We can rest, and in Lordran level up and kindle bonfires, but we ain't leveling up, no sorry. Interestingly at Firelink Shrine, because it's already kindled, you get 10 Estus flasks there when you rest at it. I hope you don't mind, I'm going to fully engage with the story here, so we are going to talk to this guy, but I just want to share an interesting theory that Urdougie with the cave shared with me, that the "Thou art undead, art chosen" fable is actually applying to players, that because there's such a high quit rate for this game, if you quit the game, you are not the chosen undead. If you complete the game, you are the chosen undead, so there's a bit of meta story there, which I appreciate.
Well, what do we have here? You must be a new arrival. Let me guess, fate of the undead, right? Well, you're not the first, but there's no salvation here. You'd have done better to rot in the undead asylum. But too late now. Well, since you're here, let me help you out. There are actually 2 bells of awakening. One's up above in the undead church. The other is far, far below, in the ruins at the base of Blight Town. Ring them both, and something happens. Brilliant, right? Not much to go on, but I have a feeling that won't stop you. So, off you go. It is why you came, isn't it? To this accursed land of the undead?
Two Bells of Awakening, contrary to what Oscar said. We're getting some new intel that there's two Bells of Awakening.
Ah, your face. You're practically hollow. But who knows? Going hollow could solve quite a bit.
So he actually does tell you quite a lot about the game, if you were so inclined to listen to him. First thing that I always quite like to do is just run around Firelink Shrine and grab the items that it has freely on offer. You notice that we picked up 3 Humanities. Humanities are the item that will make you human until your next death, and what that basically does is activate online play, which we're not really going to engage with. I'm not going to summon any help for this. I'm going to basically just wallow in my misery if I can't defeat a boss. However, Humanities also have the byproduct of healing you up to full health, so still a very good item to keep around. If you drop down here, people who have played this game might know that that's the lift later on to the undead, whatever it's called, the chapel or whatever, where you would fight the bell gargoyles. Gosh, what's that called? We'll find out, but you get some free items down here, which can't hurt in the slightest. Cracked red eye, all pretty useless because we don't plan on invading. But these items are here freely, and we'll take them. This bit is the newbie's nightmare, where oftentimes people will run into this graveyard as the first thing they do upon arriving and find that those skeletons are no fucking joke. And it doesn't really tell you where to go in the slightest, but luckily we already know where to go. I'm just running around collecting some items. Okay, cool. Right, so, if you didn't know, you go up those stairs, up to Undead Burg, and if you follow that track you'll find the first Bell of Awakening. So why am I fat rolling again? I thought I had the light roll on. Oh, it's because I'm... Ah, okay. Yeah. It's really going to be quite punishing here with the rolling and the armour because of my stamina, so maybe we need to make our peace with the fact that we're going to play the whole game naked. Now the good thing is I'm just doing this to kind of warm up, but we actually, since we're not going to level up at all, we actually don't need to fight anybody. Don't need to fight anybody, we really just need to know where the bosses are and just try our best to get them. So I'm just going to use these guys as a bit of a warm up, and then we're just going to get on with the show and run straight to where I remember the boss is and see what we can do. Hopefully we've got a boss this episode. Right, hello lads, as you were. Oops, hello. Excellent. Sometimes this rat can gift you a humanity, aha, or it can gift you being poisoned. Okay, that's not so good because it's a long time before we'll get any poison remedies, but you're actually not that far in time from the nearest bonfire. Obviously the enemies are in place to slow you down and stuff, but if you know exactly where you're going, it's not that far to the bonfire. So let's just hit an Estus flask right now, and then off we go. Cool cinematic moment coming up. Bit of foreshadowing. I don't expect we're going to be tangoing with that dragon, although... I just remembered that that dragon is the owner of an item that might come in pretty handy. Bonfire. One cool thing about bonfires is if you're getting attacked, like such as what I am right now, I didn't get it in time, but it actually does despawn all enemies I'm poisoned, so I really can't afford to be doing this so much. Let's just get an Estus flask. Get some damage into these guys. And we'll hope for the best. I was hoping I didn't die there. That would be a bad foreshadowing of what might be coming. But I remember, right, so I'm talking about the Drake Sword. That dragon, if you start shooting its tail, drops this sword called the Drake Sword, which is kind of like a dream for a run like this, because it's super powered in the early game, but it does fall off pretty dramatically in its power later on in the game. But it would make a lot of things a lot easier here, which I might actually do, because I mean the game is going to get unbelievably hard.
Well, you seem to...
Since we're not leveling up, we've got plenty for this shop guy. I hope you don't mind that I'm not speaking to him here. What does he have again? Yep, let's get this residence key. Great stuff. Armor. Yep, so 500, 500. I could almost buy everything there. It maybe wouldn't hurt to try and put some chain armor on. Let's buy the chain armor and let's see what that does.
Thank you kindly.
So I'm basing all of my armor choices off of my ability to roll. Yeah, so that makes it fat roll again. Okay, so that was a waste of souls. In fact, let's take that off, put the chain armor on. Yeah, okay, so that's a bit better. Even though we're a wee bit jangly every time we step there. You hear that? Hey, well, alright. Let's go to the boss. We don't need to fight anybody, we don't need souls for leveling up, so I know where the boss is. Follow me to... come on, I think the residence key is... oh no, this just opens itself. For an item, wooden shield, useless for us. If there weren't enemies attacking me right now, I would... in fact, I'll just quickly show you this if you don't know. Rest here, despawn and de-aggro all the enemies. Go into your menu here, check your shield, hit X on it. And damage reduction percentage in the right there, that's your measure of how good a shield is. So physical is 100 right now, which is just so valuable because, for example, the wooden shield only blocks 93.0, which means that you're still going to take damage even after a successful block. So the shield we've started with is going to be the one that we're going to keep for a while now, I would imagine. Okay, so it is actually fairly dangerous to just run through all these guys, but that's what we're going to try and do. Aggro them there. Aggro them over in the corner, get them out of the way of the door, and then give them the old spinneroony. Okay, so there are some items that you might be inclined to get here. I believe that the residence key opens this door here. And, oh, you cheeky bugger. We're in, and there's a chest here which contains gold pine resin, which is going to come in pretty handy in just a second. Now keep your wits about you. Another roll down the hill, job here, block here just to block the damage, and then run. Oh, hello, block that. Up we go. This is where the boss is, by the way. Oh, actually, where's that little thing that you want? Isn't there a little wee thing here? And run around, can't remember. Oh, hello there. Luckily, once we go through the fog gate, it gives us a wee beat to get ourselves prepared before the boss. Are those guys still coming? They are going to be a little bit annoying for this thing here. Come on. Yes. Okay, so I've let this get a wee bit out of control, but that's alright. Just use an Estus. Okay, I've got a fight in our hands here. Let's go, boys. This is pretty much exactly what I didn't want to happen, but do you know what? Fuck yous. Let's try the boss. Okay, this is the first boss arena. He doesn't spawn right away because it's a bit of a trick. If you walk up there, you're going to get shot in the ass by these two guys here, so it is worth just coming back here and fighting them. Taking them out so that you get a clean run at the boss. What I just did there was backstabbing. Pretty effective tool for fighting because it takes you out of it gives you invincibility. No one can hit you when you're in that frame there, so Okay, so waiting out, we are going to put on some pine resin onto our quick bar here, and we're going to use it right away. Basically, that charges your weapon with lightning damage. Here he comes. And as usual, we want to stay close to him. Play safe but aggressive. Roll into the attacks. Look at the good damage they were doing. Took a wee bit of damage there, I don't know. Oh, hello. Just need to get my Dark Souls timing down because it's so been overwritten with Elden Ring timing. Oh, that was harsh. Stamina management, a wee bit more important for me here. Okay, let's get some space, get an Estus just to be safe. And let's get in before our pine resin runs out. I think we'll be able to combo him down here. Oh, hello. I don't know what's going on, but hopefully I can squeeze an attack in. Yes. Okay. Success. Again, it's all fun and games right now, but this is going to get absolutely atrociously difficult very, very shortly, I would imagine. The next thing to consider is whether I would like to get the Drake Sword. It does take time, and we would need to return to that vendor down there to get a bow and arrow. You really, really, really don't want to watch me get the Drake Sword, but I can show you how to get it if that's your thing, if you're going to do a run such as this. Don't know that we're going to engage fully with this legend here, but can't help myself but talk to him. This is Solaire.
Ah, hello. You don't look hollow, far from it. I am Solaire of Astora, an adherent of the Lord of Sunlight. Now that I am undead, I have come to this great land, the birthplace of Lord Gwyn, to seek my very own son. You find that strange? Well, you should. No need to hide your reaction. I get that look all the time. Oh, aha. So I didn't scare you. I have a proposition, if you have a moment. The way I see it, our fates appear to be intertwined. In a land brimming with hollows, could that really be mere chance? So what do you say? Why not help one another on this lonely journey?
Sure thing.
It pleases me greatly. Well then, take this. We are amidst strange beings in a strange land. The flow of time itself is convoluted, with heroes centuries old phasing in and out. The very fabric wavers, and relations shift and obscure. There's no telling how much longer your world and mine will remain in contact. But use this to summon one another as spirits, cross the gaps between the worlds, and engage in jolly cooperation. Of course, we are not the only ones engaged in this, but I am a warrior of the sun. Spot my summon signature easily by its brilliant aura. If you miss it, you must be blind.
Yeah, we love you, Solaire. Yeah, it's no secret that the Dark Souls community loves that guy, you know, praise the sun and all that jazz. He is your master of multiplayer there, that white sign stone that he gave you. Oh, I thought I'd made that there. Didn't take as much damage as I thought it might have though. Maybe the chain armour is effective for something. Okay, so that was the dragon that we seen earlier. Took that a little bit nonchalantly there, but it worked. We actually, if you go down here, you go down the stairs, watch you don't fall, kick the ladder, and then we're back to the bonfire that we've already got. And I mean, that was my first moment in Dark Souls where my mind was completely blown by its level design. Let's rest. We ain't levelling up. Right, I've decided I'm going to get the Drake Sword because I could use every bit of help that I could get here, so let's just kill these guys so that we don't have to actually deal with the headache of them following us down to the merchant. Gosh, I would kill for that stab move that you get in Elden Ring on swords. Here's somebody behind me. Stabbing combo. Be sure you can get behind these guys if you try really hard. Oh. You can also kick. How do you kick again? That. And then you've got a wide open move there. So kick, you just kind of flick the analog stick forward and hit attack and you kick. Sometimes that activates a special move on certain weapons.
Ow. Never.
Alright mate, geez a bow and arrow then. Oh fuck, hello. Excuse me while I'm doing business here. Right. Short bow. Geez that, thank you very much. And what's standard arrow? Geez, what? I don't need 400 of them, although I do need a bunch. Yeah, never underestimate what it takes to actually get this Drake sword, by the way. I'm on 60. Okay.
Oh, I come back.
So this is going to be the most boring bit of the whole thing for me. I'm going to fast forward it for you, because you don't want to watch me do that. But check it out, the Drake sword, super powered weapon. Go up here. Probably should have, oh, in fact didn't I rest at the bonfire? I did, but yeah, I took damage on the way, that's fine. Go through here, this is actually the main path. It means that you can go underneath the bridge here, so that you don't have to tangle with the dragon. Right, equip the bow. Here we go. Unable to wield this weapon effectively, but I think we can get around that fairly easily. How do you equip arrows again? Yeah, there. Standard arrow. And then you hold in, or you press Y to two-hand it. And then, that's us. We can just start shooting this thing's tail. And if you shoot the tail, I think it is roughly 1,000,000 times, or at least 100,000, you get the Drake sword automatically. You don't need to go and, like, fight the dragon or anything like that, but the real annoying part here is that he does this every time. It'd be one thing if he would just sit at peace and let you shoot him. Oh, I keep missing. It does take such a long amount of time that you start questioning whether it's going to work at all. I have done this before, but I'm starting to worry that I've forgotten that you need to level up dex or some shit like that to do this effectively. Yes! Okay, Drake sword, there you have it. Such a preposterous method of getting a weapon, but it is that good at this point in the game that you feel as if, oh no, right, I don't have the strength to use it. What is the criteria that you need? So you go in, you check it, 16 strength. I'm forever going to have 11 strength. However, pretty sure that you can get away with it two-handed. Yeah, you can get away with it two-handed. Still do mega damage two-handed. Right, so if we want damage, we'll go with that. And let's put on the broadsword on the there, so you can use the D-pad to switch between the two of them. So if I need my shield, I use broadsword. If I want to do dammies, then we've got the Drake sword, and oh, such beautiful damage it does. At the cost of defense, obviously. Oh, and I'm poisoned already. That's great stuff, that. Oh, and it gives me the fat roll, so that's not great. However, we're never too far from a bonfire because essentially, unless I desperately need to kill enemies like they would have given me hassle coming up this ladder, I can basically just cheese it to the boss. So if nothing was to go wrong, this is basically a boss run of this game. Obviously, shit's going to go wrong pretty shortly, I would say, because we're not leveled up. So, ooh, let's dodge these guys. Let's go in here. Am I going to beat the timer? I think I am. Here we go. So, I say beat the timer, I should explain. That guy tries to close that door, and it's lucky that the board didn't actually arrive through there. And if you don't get in there fast, then you have to go the long way round, which is a bit of a pain. And, I mean, it's good for leveling up and stuff, but we don't give two fucks about leveling up. So, just going to run through here. Usually we kill all those guys and then go in the church and discover that it's a shambles in there, but we're going to go down here because there's a bonfire down here. And it's a good base of operations for what's to come. And I clear this line of sight with that archer. I'm just going to burst an Estus just in case. Oh, hello, troops. He's alright. Sorry, lads, I'm not interested. Whew. And they'll still come until you rest, and it's not letting me rest. So, alrighty then, let's go, you bastards. Drake Sword's still killing those guys in one hit, thankfully. Let's burst an Estus. He's going to moonwalk out of here, so I'm hoping that I can... Oh, maybe I do need to go and kill him. Maybe I'm misremembering that you can just light a bonfire and rest there with enemies around. You can definitely do that in Elden Ring. It's been some years since I played this. Last time I played this was actually with our Doogie. We kind of started, well, the whole idea to start the Cave channel was to play a Dark Souls podcast and story run through. Right, so the only thing is we're fat rolling with the Drake Sword, so as tough as it is, I think we need to just put on some shit armour. That's still fat rolling there. Yeah, fuck the broadsword then. Right, fuck the broadsword. And in that regard then, fuck the shield, because those actually count towards you. And I'm still fat rolling. Do I need to go fully naked to get fast roll and Drake Sword? Yeah, I do. Okay. So we can go downstairs and talk to this chap here. He's Andre, he's your resident blacksmith.
Well, you must be a new arrival. I'm Andre of Astora. If you require smithing, then speak to me.
Cool. Reinforced weapon. You can reinforce the broadsword. I'm maybe going to purchase the longsword rather than the broadsword. Yeah, let's go longsword. And then we can feel free to spend all of our souls on Titanite shards, which are the currency that you can reinforce your weapons. So we're not going to need that for now, but the Drake Sword is going to do most of the talking for us. But reinforced weapon, you can go into longsword. Longsword +1 is just the way that Dark Souls measures your sword's ability, or your weapon's ability. +1 means it's better than longsword +9. So why not? We're just longsword +2, in case we want to reserve the right to use the shield later on. Okay, right, so we're naked. We're two-handing the Drake Sword. So I'm going to use a humanity. Keep your eye on that 0-0 next to my health and stamina. It'll turn into a bright... Oh no, not a bright, it'll turn into a 1. Because then you need to... I've not done this in the most efficient way, but you reverse hollowing. That's going to turn us from Pepperami Man into human glory. Oh, look at you, you handsome fella. And then we leave. And then we do it again. Oh no, we do it again. Pardon me. Getting mixed up here. But then you kindle. And that means that you get 10 Estus flasks from this bonfire. Which is going to be good when we go over there later on. That there is a level called Sen's Fortress. I'm not really looking forward to it. Yeah, we're definitely going to need 10 Estus flasks. The only reason I'm visiting here is because we have our best pal, Onion Man, here. Let's see what he's saying.
Oh, forgive me. I was absorbed in thought. I am Siegmeyer of Katarina. Quite honestly, I've run flat up against a wall. Or a gate, I should say. The thing just won't budge, no matter how long I wait. And oh, have I waited. So here I sit, in quite a pickle, weighing my options, so to speak. Still closed. Still closed.
So Onion Man there, Siegmeyer of Katarina, pretty famous NPC from Dark Souls. I'm going to try my best to follow his story, but there is a part of his story that's based on your combat ability in quite a trying situation. and I don't think trying situations are going to be our forte here. The main weapon that's actually going to get us through this run of no leveling up is just determination to not stop and get better. But these kind of time-sensitive ally fights, I'm going to do my best, but it's not looking good for old Onion Man there. Okay, so we're back in. Let's get the thumbnail. Glorious. And we're jumping into this church. There is a guy here that I want to fight, I think, because he gives you an item that levels up your Estus Flask, which is something we want because our Estus Flask still doesn't heal our full bar yet. So we want to fight this big chap here. Oh no, he's just guarding it. He might drop something good. Could see... yeah, that's fine. Good warm-up for the boss, I suppose. Can you backstab this guy? Can't remember. The Drake Sword making unbelievably short work of him. Titanite Shard, that's good for future longsword endeavours. This is the item in question, Firekeeper Soul. And we can actually go and use it right away. Why the fuck not? So this lift here, the famous second mind-blowing moment of the Dark Souls games for people who played it way back when. You wonder where this lift is taking you so far away from all your progress, and you arrive back at Firelink Shrine. And yep, 2011 Guffey was pretty mind-blown by that, as I'm sure a lot of people were. So we'll rest at the shrine because it's actually reasonably quicker to get to this boss run from this bonfire, but we also need to use that Firekeeper Soul. I believe, if my memory doesn't escape me, you go down here, you give the Firekeeper Soul to this person here, reinforce Estus Flask, great stuff, there you have it. Hopefully the bosses feel extra humiliated that I'm not leveling up and I am as naked as the day I was born. Let's talk to this guy.
Hello there. I believe we are not acquainted. I am Petrus of Thurland. Have you business with us? If not, I'd prefer to keep a distance, if possible. Hello there. I realize that I have requested that we retain our distance. But I also want you to know that it is not meant in ill will. Here, take this, as a token of peace. No, go ahead. It's for you.
Most useless piece of shit in the whole game. And that means the item and the guy. Yeah, we'll follow his story as much as I can remember it. I'll maybe do a wee bit of research and just refamiliarise myself with that guy's story, but you know, he's one to watch. Anyway, we're not too far from the next boss. This boss was where, when I was thinking of this run, it might end up going a bit off the rails in terms of my capabilities. Might be pleasantly surprised, because I actually forgot about the Drake Sword altogether. Pretty much. This is quite a dangerous place to just kind of hell for leather run through. Because, not because of him, but because of these guys coming up here. I think if you're not quick, you can get swarmed pretty easily by these jabronis here. Thankfully we were quick enough. We'll go and get all the items later. I just fancy a little pop at this boss here. There's definitely items and things that we've missed. Oops. Still, we're playing Final Fantasy IX currently on the cave, and my default accept button is actually on B because of that old school control method. Is this a better thumbnail coming up? Let's see. It's kind of funny how, like, you would imagine that having armour on would be the best thing for a no level up run, but the value of the fast roll is better than whatever negligible amount of damage reduction the armour's going to do. So this is a hard boss anyway. This is a hard boss anyway, never mind in a no level up run, so we'll see how we get on here. Drake Sword's probably going to help us out a whole bunch for a good while here. Plus I'm two-handed it. So, big Danny's. One thing to note is that you cannot use the lightning item on the Drake Sword, pretty sure. Let's just burst an Estus even though we're in pretty serious danger here. Okay. Oh, yep. So as you can see, once you do enough damage to one of them, a second one comes and makes the fight just insanely more complicated. Oh, and the fire's got me there because my roll didn't go the way that I wanted it. Excuses already. Okay, that's one attempt. Let's go again. Something that we're probably going to have to get used to soon. I actually would quite like to end this video on the bell ringing, but that might mean that it's going to be like a 5-hour video based on my capabilities here. Definitely not making it easier for myself with two-handing the Drake Sword and being naked. But you've seen the damage output there on the boss. It's, if I can just get used to, you know, if I can get some agility going, knowing when to, you can still block with the Drake Sword, I should say, by the way. It's just not going to be full damage limitation. We can even check that just now. 50%. Sorry that was quick, but I just don't want to get jumped by these guys. Yeah, it blocks 50% of damage, which is not nothing. That's not very good, but that's okay. I also need to get used to the fact that you can't jump in this game compared to Elden Ring. So those guys can actually climb the ladders, so you need to be quick. If you were human, you might have noticed that there was an orange sign on the floor the last time we were here. That's because we're human. We could actually summon the NPC Solaire that we met earlier. Okay, cool. Here we go again. Let's not get greedy this time. One hit's doing enough damage for me. He says as he then does 2 hits. Hey, that's good. I'm gonna get hit by this fire, I'm pretty sure. Oh, and my dodge didn't go the way that I seen it in my head there. I think this fire's gonna miss, so I'm gonna hit an Estus, and this should be... Ah! Not easy, but not as challenging as last time. Might as well Estus, just in case of any catastrophe here. Oh, wrong button again. Final Fantasy 9 buttons there. Are you just going to spam fire? I think you are, so we'll just close the gap right now. Get around the side. Glorious. It's a shame that I'm not human right now. This would be a good thumbnail. Oh, there's those guys coming as well. Okay. There's your thumbnail. Okay, great stuff. Let's go and ring the bell and then we'll probably call it a day for that. That's been some good work, that. Now, the Drake Sword, I'm sure, seems like cheating right now. It does. That's probably because it kind of is. But the game, trust me, is going to get harder and the Drake Sword will very quickly fall into redundancy. So fret not if you're here for Guffball getting tortured. That is definitely in the cards. This is only episode 1. Look at him, he's glorious. Pepperami, man. Alright, so that's episode 1 of Dark Souls No Level Up. I think we did alright there. Join us next time where hopefully I'm going to go down and see to the other Bell of Awakening. Alright, thank you very much for watching. We appreciate you, and we'll see you next time. Cheerio!